Hello and welcome. It's Friday, February the 12th. Thank you for joining us on Business Incorporated. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu. Coming up, Nigeria's central bank removes overseas school fees and medical tourism from interbank foreign exchange window. South Africa's rand weakens after President Jacob Zuma's State of the Nation address that analysts and economists say did not deal with concerns raised by rating agencies. Plus, the head of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, nominated for a second five-year term, are the ham. Well, we'll begin with the global crude oil market as prices jumped more than 5% today after comments by an OPEC energy minister sparked hopes of a coordinated production cut. Yet, analysts say such a move remained unlikely and that oversupply would persist. International benchmark Brent crude was trading at $31.63 per barrel, up 5.22% from its last settlement. Friday's jump in Brent came after the United Arab Emirates energy minister said the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries was willing to talk with other exporters about cutting output. Although he said that cheap oil was already forcing some output reductions, which would help rebalance the market itself. And the head of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, has been nominated for a second five-year term at the ham. The former French finance minister was the only nominee for the directorship. Reports say there were no obvious challenges for the job. Ms. Lagarde, 60, received support from the UK, Germany, China, and France, among other countries. She has led the IMF since 2011, and it's its first female director. Ms. Lagarde's current term in office expires on July 5. Her nomination comes amid a demand for her to stand trial in France for alleged negligence around a 2008 compensation payment to a top businessman, Bernard Tapie. Well, it's the last trading day for today, global markets. Let's see what the European market is like today. DWTV Channels TV correspondent Olaf Krieger joins me now. Good afternoon, Olaf. Right, global equities showed signs of respite after a turbulent week today. European stocks opened higher today. Is the tempo being sustained as of this afternoon?
Yes, German top shares, it's hard to believe, but it's also true, are back in positive territory, and they are still in positive territory, I have to say, after another rough week. But we have to mention one swallow doesn't make a summer, because there are so many concerns still in the market as we hear the whole week and the week before. It's China, it's the situation at the real material market and the forecast for the US economy, the biggest economy in the world. And I think many investors are trying to flee into safety, and this is of course poison for the market, but what we need now, I think, for a reliable turnaround is some substantial input. Some good news are desperately needed to keep the markets up.
Right, you talked about the concerns, China, US, and of course the global oil price. Of course, we also have the European banks. Now, the health of the European banks are further threatening global economic outlook, already under strain from falling oil prices and slowdown in China and other emerging markets. Talk to us through what their stock performances are like today.
Well, there is a bright light for the financial sector. It's the German Commerzbank, Germany's second biggest bank, and they posted a net profit of more than 1 billion euros and expect to see further profit growth in this year. And as you already mentioned, in a hot sentiment for international banking, not even in Europe, all over the world. We saw the Societe Generale the other days reporting excellent figures, but the shares went down dramatically because the forecast for the Societe Generale was really bad. And also another example is the German biggest bank, the Deutsche Bank. So I think the banking sector is still not out of the woods and needs some good news to rebound for a longer period of time.
Right, well, Olaf, it's the last trading day for the week today. What are your outlook for next week?
Well, the outlook for German markets Still cloudy, I have to say that, because, as I already mentioned, there are so many problems and there is really no alternative right now. And just take a look at the gold price. The gold price is dramatically risen all the time because it's an alternative to shares, to buy shares. It's more safety. Gold is traditionally something like a safe haven, and I think the upcoming week, yeah, I think it could be another shaky week here in Frankfurt, but elsewhere in Europe, worldwide.
Well, thank you very much, Ola, for your time. Do have a beautiful weekend ahead.